Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me for my first track outing with the Lamborghini Huracan STO, one of the newest Shmee-mobiles, a car that will be right at home here at Donington Park. Now I've driven the circuit a number of times. We've got the full Grand Prix track today with Axiom Events, here also with Lamborghini Pangbourne, who have a number of clients down, mostly driving I think in their different race cars. We have Pragas, GT3 cars, plenty of cars on slicks, all sorts of road-going supercars. There's a GT8 just up there, and as well as the STO, I've also got my GT Black Series tucked in behind. But today is all about this, the track derivative of the Huracan, learnings from the GT3 cars and the Super Trofeo EVO, and an opportunity to see what this is all about. So let's get everything prepped and set up, and then get straight out on track here at Donington with the STO. Let's very quickly talk about the car. Of course, as I've said before, this is the track version of the Huracan, the STO, the Super Trofeo Omologato, the homologated version, you could say, of the Super Trofeo race car. Lots of learnings from the EVO, things like these arches, the knackered ducts, gigantic spoiler, and a very dynamic setup. Now, my car, I must confess, is actually running on the regular all-year street tyres, the Bridgestone Potenza Sport. You could order the car with the track equivalent. I've not yet put them on, so it's a slight disadvantage for it today, but we do have the 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10 that makes 640 horsepower, a fabulous exhaust system, of which you can see a lot of that through the back of this car, and believe me, it is going to sound phenomenal. I've already adjusted tyre pressure slightly. We're probably going to do a number of stints today, a little bit of coming in and out. We've obviously got this full carbon fibre front clam on the STO, more louvres, openings, airflow that goes straight through the bonnet. The thing just looks crazy, and believe me, there's a lot going on today. There are a lot of cool cars that are around, and it was this day last year where I drove in the Glenturret 911 Cup car out on track here, although then it was significantly more damp. Today, thankfully, the weather is fairly on side, all things considered. I've just spotted a GT2 RS Club Sport. That's going to be insanely fast. Lots and lots of cool cars though, but let's come and get this started up. We will go straight on out. The front of this car does seem to accumulate leaves and all sorts of random stuff, but I suppose that is kind of life. You've got lots of openings at the front for the cooling. Step in here, we'll get ready to go. We've got some good miles on the car already. I suspect it's going to be in Trofeo mode today. Point proven. Right, let's get ready and go on out. I've just been out for some sighting laps. We're going to have the car in Trofeo mode. There's not a lot of space in here when you've got a helmet on inside the Lambo. Yeah, your head is kind of on the roof. I've got in the habit recently of wearing gloves while driving. You just get a little bit more grip, and also with Alcantara steering wheels, you don't wear them out quite so quickly. You need to make sure my wristbands are visible. So I'll pop it into all of the right modes. Interesting thing here, oh, that does work wearing gloves. How convenient, because on the central screen you have the LDVI, which I definitely want open. Nope, that's not working. There we go. Which gives me brake temperatures and all sorts. This is the first production car to tell you brake temps on there, and you can actually bring that stuff up on the dashboard as well. But we've got temps, we've got basically a full tank of fuel. So into gear, everything's set. Let's roll out. Down the pit lane we go then. Everything kind of ready. We'll have the quick wristband check at the end. Make sure they can see that. All good, got the thumbs up. I can see some very fast cars coming, so let's let them go past. There we go, right, out we go. Listen to that. A little bit lively as well. Gosh, the sound of this, I've actually got a Praga coming past me right now, so no I don't. It's a 488 challenge, I think. It's a busy bit of track today. The sound of this is just mad. We'll warm it up slightly. And then I'm going to tuck it over to let him go past. Let the fast car through. Sweet. Listen to this. Now, I'm not on slicks or even tyres that are going to give us anything like the best grip, so we'll get some temperature into them, but it's not going to be crazy. This feels lively, it feels wild. Those downshifts are just monumental. We've got the full GP track here today. So we unleash about 140 45 miles per hour down towards the chicane. Get ready to tuck it over the curbs. Listen to that though. The braking power is of course phenomenal. We've got the CCMRs. That's fun, feeling the modulation on the throttle pedal. It feels like a lot of noise, but not necessarily the fastest thing in the world. 640 horsepower these days. Those downshifts. Just need to get a little bit comfortable with where we are, how this is working. The linear power delivery is awesome. It just feels a little bit wild. This is what Chris Harris said recently. It feels like the first Lamborghini in a while that kind of wants to kill you a little bit. You have to be much more aware of what you're doing. It a bit more, short shift for some stability, run it out and foot flat unwind, up to 8,500 RPM. Firm on the brakes. Concentration mode now. I'm sure you can take these corners quicker than I am at the moment, but just getting to grips with it. Interesting. I've only done 4 laps and I already have my front right disc overheating. Now, it's great to be told that because typically I would have gone out for a couple more laps before I wanted to head back in. Instead, we'll have a cool down now just to wind it back and take it easily. But that was at the end of the main straight at the start, so obviously the hottest point for brakes when you're doing a lap here. Tyre temps are up to about 60 degrees at the front, 50 at the rear, so those are getting pretty warm for the regular Bridgestones. The engine braking is awesome. The steering, by the way, the extra weight that you have in Trofeo mode that on the road I find too artificial is certainly beneficial on the track. You feel a little bit more response from it, a little bit more comfortable with what it's up to in the track environment, which is obviously very beneficial. Just taking it easy, aware of other cars on the track around me, hopefully going to pass before we get down to the chicane, and then come flying through, go back into the pits. It's a great mix of cars today, and those cracks in Trofeo as well, so just to cool down that really, to bring the first stint to an end. It's really interesting to get that set up, to get all the information from the display. And to hear all of that, you only get the sound above 4,500 RPM, that's where the valves open. And the stiff seats and stiff ride are definitely telling my back that they're stiff. I'm very, very aware of this as well. But I tell you what, that was pretty good fun for a first major outing. Lots of concentration required, but definitely a wild and leery thing, although I'm sure the GT Black is going to be way faster. Like it's not the same category. Very, very, very different things. All right then, here we are, parked back up, gloves off, time to chill for a moment, and then I guess shortly go out for a little bit more fun. A quick pause then between stints. We'll let the STO cool down, have a look at the brakes in a moment and see some of the other cars around and what else is out on track as well. We've got a few different people, I guess, sharing the private day today, organised with RMA as well. And obviously here at Donington, right by the start line, this is where I recently drove the 488 Challenge EVO. What do we have coming past? Oh, the RS3 race car. That sounds pretty cool. M2, what else do we have? Ah, here we go, that's the car I drove. You can see the mix of different cars today. Very cool. So, a little bit of a sense then of what it's all about, and I guess very shortly we'll go out, have some more fun. The sights and sounds, some more fun with the STO. Right, it's time to go out again, and we've been talking a little bit more about this temperature, and it's probably down to the traction control, which I actually left on. So we need to do the quick wristband check again, make sure they're all good with the wristbands. So out we go. We'll just do the start with traction on as it was. I say on, it's in ESC Trofeo. But there are some very fast cars incoming behind, so have to watch out for those as we come up from this first section of the track. The sound of this thing. Okay, now I'm going to let them go past. Keep to the right. Sweet. GT3 RS on a cool down. How cool is this? Getting a little bit more accustomed to it already, a little bit more aware of what this thing is all about as we try to keep up a little bit with the race cars here. In fact, let's go into ESC off, or not fully off, but a little bit more off, you could say. Heavy on the brakes here as we come to the chicane. This is really quite fun to be chasing race cars ahead of us. Got to watch out though, this corner gets very, very, very slidey, especially if you give it too much throttle like this. God, that sounded awesome. That sounded absolutely awesome. Pitting in front of us. Following the RS3 LMS, watch out, traction off, don't want to do that. Maybe that was a little bit more slidey than I actually intended, so we'll be a little bit careful. Those corners are savage at the end of the Donington Grand Prix circuit. Keep it a little bit more out to the left here. Set up the line as we come down the hill. Dab of the brake. Through the fast left. Heavy through here on the brakes again. I would love to have had this on track tyres now. Just feel it moving around a little bit on these. Not quite suited for the purpose. Still very good fun, don't get me wrong, but not quite the same as a purpose track set. As we lean, I start to feel it getting towards the edge of the grip that we have on them, up to 60 degrees at the front, so we won't have too many more laps before we start to do a fair amount of tyre wear. Also, you get much more stopping power on a more sticky set of rubber as well. I love all the data it gives me. I'm always a big fan of those kind of things. As we come in here, more gentle on the throttle, there we go. It's a little bit of a bump on that corner, so it can step you out just a touch if you're not watching out for it. We come in then to the final corner. Avoid going too early, now on the power. Just awesome, right? I'm going to back it off a notch and cool it down with a big smile on my face, because this is pretty lively. In fact, as I've done a few more stints, in total I've been out 4 times today with it, I've started to get a little bit more accustomed to what it can offer and learn a little bit more about it. And I tell you what, it is really a car that you need to learn, you need to spend some time with. You can't really just jump in this thing like so many other cars from McLaren or Ferrari and feel straight at home. You want to take some time to get familiar with it, and I really do think as well with the track tyres, or even putting a set of Trofeo R's on it, that's probably what I would do. Would really, really work with this. Just feels so raw. Listen to this. Those shifts, just insane. Got a mono on our tail. I keep it right. They can fly by. Sweet. I love that in that he can just put his hand up in the air and say thank you. That's quite cool. Oh, goodness me. So, some laps at Donington in the STO. First track outing. Of course, it will need a Nürburgring outing at some point in the future. Everything is currently green. Green is good. So I think we did solve what was going on with the traction. You just basically don't want to drive it hard with traction on, because otherwise it's going to be very unhappy with you. Wow. The sound is mega. The feeling is mega. Let's head back in. After that run in the STO, I've been out in the GT Black Series as well. And I have to say, this is apples and oranges. They are not the same thing. This is so fast. Obviously, tyres, more grip, and a lot more power. The difference is astonishing. But let's talk STO. That's what today is about. We will have some more comparatives in the future. Maybe bring out the Senna, maybe bring out the SF90 in the future as well, to compare them back to back. But the STO today, this is all about the emotion. The rawness of it, the noise of it, the feel of it, the drama of it, and it does that very well. Like I said, obviously it was great to be able to figure that the brakes were heating up too much because traction control, which kind of makes sense, Lamborghini and the way most people would, let's say, drive them, but also obviously the tyres making a big difference as well. And it would be great to get this onto some stickier rubber to have grip levels nearer that, which took a long time, by the way. The first 2 laps, no grip at all. It took probably 3-4 laps before they were up to any kind of temperature to be able to enjoy them into the 30 degrees, something like that. STO though, the sound of this, as I gather from the flybys, which obviously I've not heard, but taking a listen to some of the video clips and things, just awesome. And you look at it, it's wild. It's everything a supercar should be. Wedge shape, crazy bolt-on bits, bright colours, leery, noisy, lots of brake dust now as well. It's a Lambo. It's my first Lambo, and it's now had a few stints out on track, which was always the intention with it. And to be honest, the seats aren't quite so uncomfortable when you're on track as well. I'm all right with them. Obviously, you could also have it with the buckets, and I went for the STO sports seat option that they introduced for this thing. So yes, great to be able to drive these things as intended. That was what they were bought for. That's what they were built for. That's what they were designed and engineered for. And here we are today at Donington, this great day with Lamborghini Pangbourne and with Axiom Events and plenty of other pretty epic things around as well. But these two, for me, making it an awful lot of fun. But as the light starts to go down, as things start to pack up here at Donington Park, I think that pretty much brings us to the end of today. I'm looking forward to what's to come with the STO. There'll be plenty of things in the future. But for now, thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, your support is hugely appreciated. But that's it for this time, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.